We do have tickets to give away, Subway Series tickets. To be eligible for it, all you have to do is subscribe. It would help if you comment, like, rate, hit the notification button, whatever. Subscribe to win a pair of field level tickets, courtesy of Sachdev Orthodontics in, where is it again? Nyack? Rockland, there you go. In Rockland County, our pal Raj hooking us up with that. Subway Series tickets, May 15th. Mets Yankees at Citi Field. Pair of tickets. Badabooms and I will be there with you if the schedule allows. If not, we got to give those tickets away too. But anyway, we'll give that away May 1st. So you only have about 2 weeks to enter for that. You must be a subscriber to this channel to be eligible for that. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sal Licata Show, available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. It is 1:18 in the morning, and the original plan for this podcast was I taped an interview on Wednesday night with Nick Costos, which you're going to hear coming up in just a little bit, and it was a great interview with the draft stuff, with a little Knicks, having fun with Nick Costos, my good buddy, and nobody's more informed than him. And the plan was, because it's my daughter's birthday on Thursday, and I'm telling Badabooms, like, I'm not waiting up all night to watch the Mets lose again and then going to record early in the morning. I want nothing to do with recording in the morning because my daughter's birthday. I want to wake up, give her a present, whatever, make the day special before I have to leave for work for SNY. And then just somehow I'm watching a game, and it was a tight game, and I stayed up, and then it wasn't a tight game anymore, and then I'm annoyed, and the fact that the Mets got swept and looked inept in doing so, I was like, we have to come on, because I don't want to hear from the comments, no Mets talk, or what are you avoiding the Mets, you Mets shill, blah, 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 or Met fans looking for a piece of meat or expecting me to react. So I wish we could have gone live. Most people, normal people, are sleeping. Before I actually get into the game, think about this. I can't remember the last time that I stayed up 3 straight 10 p.m. starts, or 10:10, whatever time these games started, 3 straight West Coast 10 o'clock starts and watched the game from start to finish. Like maybe my early 30s. It's been a long time since that's been the case. And a lot of times it's been 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock starts. You don't have 3 in a row, but 3 straight. And this is what we watch if you stayed up like I did for 3 straight games, watching this team, the futility offensively. I get Soto's hurt. It's got to be better than what it's been. It's unacceptably bad. And I don't know if there's anything more frustrating in sports than watching a team that just can't hit. Because if you can't hit, you have no chance. All right, your bullpen gives up a lead. You can bounce back if you have an offense. Starter doesn't have one night. Okay, it's all right. He gave up 4 runs in the first. If you have an offense, you could bounce back. If you can't hit, even if you could pitch well, as evident in this Mets series where they got good pitching, certainly from McClain and Clay Holmes. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Peterson was that bad. All things considered, Peterson, the worst pitcher for the Mets, gives up 4 runs in 5 innings against the Dodgers in that ballpark against that lineup. I think you take that every time. So not that it's ideal, but for your 5th starter, you would take that for a guy who was on the ropes the whole time. So Mets got good pitching, starting pitching in this series, and yet they just couldn't win. It was a total domination from the Dodgers. You never felt like the Mets had a real chance anytime they had a real threat, and they did have a couple of them. Robert came up with 2 guys on in game 2 of that series. He failed against Blake Trinan. Lindor came up in game 3 on Wednesday night with 2 guys on in the big spot where he needed to get a base hit, and he couldn't. Surprise, surprise. Like, Francisco Lindor is killing the team, and I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't take watching him anymore. I can't take it. He strikes out against Ohtani. He starts smiling and laughing, and I'm not saying that he doesn't care, because we know he does care, but it's not good optics. The fact that he can't perform right now and just looks like he's lost. And then defensively, the bad offense is bad enough, and it really is unacceptably bad with the Mets, where they're supposed to be much better. And I'm not using Soto as an excuse. Like, Soto's not here. We get it right now. He'll be back, and I think they'll get better offensively. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Lindor, Bichette. I mean, Bo Bichette has been god-awful. So it's not just Lindor. It's that I have higher expectations for Francisco Lindor. Yeah, I have higher expectations for Bo Bichette, but in year 1, what do you expect? We've gone over this before. Lindor's got to be the guy to carry them without Soto. It's got to be somebody. Simeon, nothing. Polanco, hurt. Like, they're a total mess. Wasting at bats, non-competitive, bench, overmatched, like just nothing doing with the Mets offense. However, as frustrating as that is to watch, The thing that infuriates me the most is the sloppiness, because that is something that was supposed to be different. That is something that was supposed to be better this year. You don't move on from Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso if you're not trying to upgrade the team as far as defense goes, versatility, running on the base path, taking the extra base, being smart on the base path. You're not. Clearly, those guys are solid offensive players. Pete with his power, Nimmo a little bit with the power, this year with the batting average. But we know those guys have strengths. The difference is Nimmo could barely play the outfield, so you wanted somebody who could play the outfield, upgrade the defense. Same thing with Alonso. Also guys that could put the bat on the ball. And clearly the Mets haven't done that offensively to replace those guys yet. But defensively, running the bases, they were supposed to be better. And they're not. They're not doing anything. Mendy said it after the game. We're not playing good baseball. Yeah, I know. Even when you were 7-4, you weren't playing good baseball. Now it's caught up with you. You've lost 8 straight. It's unacceptably bad baseball. Alvarez, what the hell, man? Benj gets a base hit, and Alvarez gets nailed at second base because he went back to the base. He held up. He didn't know what was going on. I don't want to see you blame the umps. Watch with your freaking eyes, man. Run like you normally would going towards second base. If he makes a great catch, you should have time to get back. He's got to throw it from left field all the way across to first base. You should have time. Go more than halfway. You see it, or right about halfway, maybe a little bit more. You cheat a little bit if you read the ball properly and go to second base. And Alvarez is getting thrown out at second. Like, the Mets have hard enough time getting a hit. When they do get a hit with a guy on, no less, you've got to have him get to second base. That's stupid shit. The Mets are doing stupid things. That can't happen. Then the Lindor miscue in the 8th inning. 3-1 game, and Francisco Lindor misplays the ball to start the inning. Doesn't know how to read it. I mean, his friend, not to mention, this is after the Dodgers shortstop, who I never heard of before, makes a play like Ozzie Smith going into the hole, robbing a play. You're seeing this guy, he's a 2-run homer, he's diving all over the place. I'm like, why are the Mets paying $341 million for Lindor when they can get this guy for cheap? Although he probably doesn't want to be a Met like everybody else. They want to be a Dodger instead. But whatever. What is his name, Badabooms? What's their shortstop's name?
Are you talking about Hae-Sung Kim?
Kim. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kim. I've heard of him before, but I've never really watched him like that. How many years has he been in the league?
This is his 2nd year, I believe.
Dude, I mean, the guy's unbelievable. He rips the home run early on.
This is not the other Hae-Sung Kim that you may be getting confused that was a first baseman for the Padres. This is a young Hae-Sung Kim.
Yeah. I know. That's why I'm not really familiar with him. But yes, I remember the other one. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. Whoever it is, he's hitting 2-run homers. He's making diving plays at shortstop. And then you watch Lindor. He's striking out left and right, and he's going back on a ball that he should come in and charge on, and it opens the floodgates. And then Benj in right field. I mean, it's only been 18 games, and not the exact amount that Benj has played so far. He's moved around different positions, but watching him so far in the big leagues, in center field, left field, and right field, his worst position to me is clearly right field. That was on display right out of the gate, where he takes bad routes to balls. On opening day, the balls went over the fence, so it didn't really matter. But you saw it then last night in that big spot. Took a bad route to the ball, it drops in. I'm not saying that he should have caught it, but he definitely could have made a better play on it. And that's the difference with good teams versus bad teams that make that extra play, that make that great play. He doesn't. Floodgates open. Devin Williams gets lit up. Why do you think that is? A, bad defense. B, he hasn't pitched in a week because the Mets haven't had a lead. All facets, all areas bad. The only thing that I liked about that game, aside from Clay Holmes being good and good that he's healthy, that he comes out of that, was Mendoza in the postgame. He's now starting to see, it's a fine line that managers have to play here because you want to be consistent. That's the message everybody wants, right? Don't panic. It's way early. Be consistent and support the players. You also, though, need to call it how it is and hold them accountable. And I thought that he did a better job of that after Wednesday night's game as opposed to some of the stuff that we've seen earlier. And maybe he knows it's getting more real now, meaning 8 in a row, losing to Dodgers. Hey, this is not about preparation. My guys are putting in the work. They've got to start playing better. The question is, how are you going to get this turned around? Bottom line is the players got to start playing better. They know it. We all know it. They got to start playing better. Can't happen. We're playing lousy brand of baseball. Holding his team accountable, himself accountable, the ball club, those are good things. And, talking about how the team is pissed and he's glad that they're pissed. They should be pissed. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if that's enough. Everybody's talking about Mendy now, which we shouldn't be talking about that. But David Stearns put this team together and he took a big risk in the offseason. I think it was something he had to do, change the core up. But I also believe that he was going to have the right mix of players in here. Now, to be fair, it's still very early in the season. I haven't even played 20 games yet. So we all know that. And we haven't really seen this team full bore yet outside of the few games to start the year, meaning Soto hurt, Polanco hurt. There are some major issues within that lineup. And Lindor's been awful. Bichette can't get going. So I still think there are far better days ahead. And I think they're going to be okay. But there's no excuse. You could make an excuse like we did for the offense. There's no excuse for not playing the game the right way. You can be playing a good brand of baseball and still coming up short because you don't have your best offensive player, because Bichette's in a funk, because Lindor's in a preseason or early season funk. That can happen. But catching the ball, making the proper decisions in the field, those are things, running the bases well. The Mets haven't done it well. It's not just one game. It's not just during the losing streak. Even when they were winning, they have not done those little things well. And that was something that I was sold on being improved. Look at how Stearns built these teams in Milwaukee. And those teams do those type of things. Put the bat on the ball, run the bases well, catch the ball, throw the ball. That's what I wanted to see. And if you do that, it will overcome some of the inefficiencies or deficiencies offensively when guys are slumping. But now the Mets have had the worst combo where they haven't played good, clean, crisp baseball, not even close to it. And matter of fact, they were winning in spite of that for the 7 wins that they have. Pitching has been good. Don't get me wrong. That's been good. And that's a big part of why they have the 7 wins that they do. But the other things, they're winning in spite of that because they have not played well. And obviously their offense has been a disaster. Thank God they are off on Thursday. I can't take it. And I don't want it to ruin my little Sammy's 5th birthday. All right, that does it for this episode. And you know what? It might have been my favorite episode. And not just because Nick Costos was on and I love him, but because no Badabooms in this episode. Oh my God, that's disgusting. What are you doing?
Slurping.
Cut that out, will you? By the way, you did do a great job, I should say. We have to have an episode with Badabooms in it. You did a great job sending me that video. In case you guys missed it, is it on the channel? Did you upload that Berman ripoff video that you did on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, don't call it a ripoff.
Well, I mean, come on. You talk about that in the song. You got to watch it. It's actually must watch. It's hilarious. It was great.
Are you really serious? You sure?
Yeah.
You really think that?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I watched
I appreciate that.
You have great lines in there. It's witty. It's funny. I know how difficult that is to do. Not to be witty or funny, but to do what you did. Check it out. It's basically a spoof off of Berman's fastest 3 minutes.
No, not a spoof. Not a spoof. Stop. The whole song is about Berman, don't sue me. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's more of a tribute. Don't call it a spoof. Because I don't have the financial litigation. You don't have the financial litigation. Don't call it a spoof. Don't even mention Berman again. It's like, come on.
Okay,
did you watch it? I don't want anybody to seek legal action against us.
Okay, whatever the content against us, I didn't do it. It's against you.
On the Sal Licata Show.
Whatever the content.
I say that in the song. Just go listen to it.
I did. I heard it. I said I like it. I'm trying to get other people to listen to it. Anyway, that does it for us. We'll be back again tomorrow with a fresh episode. Talk all things Mets, Yanks, and WrestleMania as well.
Giveaways.
With WrestleMania. The other thing was the Juan Soto bobblehead I have right here. Free giveaway. To be eligible for that, you have to subscribe and then comment under any of our videos and give the correct number of runs that the Mets will score in their series against the Cubs, the player who will lead them in hits, and how many hits that player will have. Whoever guesses the closest to the number of those 3 things will I'll mail you that Soto bobblehead with a nice little note too, an appreciation for following along here on the show. Anyway, that does it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.